Hello and welcome to another Monday, another episode of Sportswave. I'm your host, Jeff Aliff. Our recent studio guest was Knysna resident Kerrin Klaaste. Kerrin is a South African cricket umpire and currently a member of the development panel of ICC umpires. She was also one of the female umpires named by the ICC to stand in matches at the 2023 Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup tournament. And Klaaste is the second female from South Africa on that panel. With her appointment, she now joins 59 umpires from across the globe, including fellow countrywoman Lauren Achenbach, and we'll be chatting soon to Kerrin. Before we show our catch-up with Kerrin, a quick look back at some of the sporting results from the past week. The Infantry School Cango Marathon and Half Marathon took place in Oudtshoorn this weekend. Selvin Matthews took the win in the marathon with a time of 2:24.12. About 2 minutes back was John April in second, with Ross Barnard rounding out the podium in third place. The half marathon, that went the way of Bruce Maboza in a very fast 1:07.17. Francois Mkwasa was second, with Anderson Nkube in third place. On to some triathlon news. A team of 4 junior men and 4 junior ladies have been selected to represent South Africa at the 2025 African Triathlon Junior Cup. It's happening in Troutbeck in Zimbabwe next weekend. One of the team members is our very own Karrin Klaaste, and we wish her everything of the best in Zimbabwe. Keep an eye out on our socials, and I will be visiting Karrin before she leaves on Wednesday to shoot a short video. On to cricket news now, and as promised, here is our studio guest, Kerrin Klaaste. Kerrin, you've just got off a flight from standing at one of the matches. Firstly, thanks very much for coming to studio.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Excited to be able to chat to you.
First question for me, I think that a lot of viewers will be interested in knowing, how did this journey begin? What got you? I know you used to play cricket, but how did the journey begin, develop from being a cricketer, your passion for cricket, and then transferring across to becoming an umpire?
I started out as a domestic cricket player, but as soon as I saw the opportunity as an umpire, especially female umpire in the environment, it becomes a no-brainer to chase a career that's got a bit of longevity to it. So, yeah.
I know it might be a bit of a cliche, but umpiring is generally looked at, or cricket generally is looked at as a male-dominated sport. I know things are changing very fast. Were there any difficulties in terms of making the transition to becoming an umpire?
I think the transition was fairly simple. It's just a bit of a mindset shift from wanting to be a player to wanting to now be on the official side of things. But when it comes to the male dynamic, it was hard at the beginning, but because I had really good support from the guys I was working with, it also made that transition a little bit smoother, because they wanted to see me do well and they wanted to assist with any type of mentoring, any type of knowledge they could pass on. So that also really aided the process. Yeah.
The umpire, I think, is a difficult position in a game of cricket. I mean, people talk about the opening batsman, the opening bowler. I think one of the most difficult positions is the umpire, because you've got to make critical decisions, key decisions. In your opinion, what quality makes for a good umpire?
Definitely calmness. If you are calm, you become level-headed and you can make that decision with a very clear mind, and definitely some confidence. I mean, you've got to stand there and sell a decision whether or not the player thinks you're right or wrong. You need to be able to sell that decision, and if you can do that confidently, it just makes it a lot easier. So those two qualities are quite crucial.
Yeah. Do you watch a lot of cricket? I mean, just in terms of in terms of learning, in terms of saying what call would I have made in this situation?
Definitely, it's one of the better tools to learn. You see so many different scenarios taking place, and it just helps with your thought process a little bit. You then, what do you call this? You would address your almanacs. You'll consult your almanacs, and perhaps you pick up a tool or two that one of the other guys are using, technique or two that you can now implement. So watching really helps a lot.
Yeah. Old school cricket, the umpire made the call. That was it. Now we've gotten to the scenario of referring it to the third umpire, and players can question it. Your opinion on that? Should it have remained the way it used to be, or are you in favour of referrals?
Given that the game's evolving so much, I think we also need to continue moving with the times, and the implementation of technology helps us a lot. It alleviates a lot of the external stresses. But yeah, it helps the third umpire make a decision with the evidence they have in front of him. So it's a big advantage to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question I'm curious is, it used to be, again, moving with the way the sports evolved. It used to be Test cricket, the pure form of 5-day cricket matches. Then 50 over cricket, 1-day games, and then the rock and roll, the 2020 came. Your opinion on the changes and the way it's evolved, and what is your preference?
Look, T20 is probably the most explosive, entertaining form of the game. And I think there's a lot of money in that, which is why a lot of the players veer in that direction. But when it comes from a more of an umpiring perspective, as well as the game holistically, the longer format is the most intense. It's a mental game. I thoroughly enjoy that more, the more day game. So you're always going to get a few mixed opinions when it comes to this one, but it's nice having a quick game.
Yeah.
But if you look at the game as a whole, the more day format is that's the real test.
Okay, and a last question, Kerrin. Youngsters watching this that might be inspired to follow your footsteps to become an umpire, what advice would you offer them?
Yes, especially as females, if you can get into this space early, that's going to be the biggest positive because there's so much opportunity. So the game doesn't end at just being a player. You could be an umpire, presenter, a commentator. There's so many different streams and avenues you could tap into now. So just take note of who's where and what they're doing and tap into that,
That's where we leave it this week. Please remember to hit like and subscribe to stay up to date with our content. Have yourselves a great week.